Hey everybody, Adam and Danger here with the Sports Capitalist coming at you with our breakdown of the Super Bowl. We are finally at the end of the year. This is our last video of the season, but we'll come at you with some off-season content there. Rams
for sure.
and Bengals, Danger. Obviously, you are a resident Rams fan. So
I called it.
Put you on the hot seat.
Prodigal
What are
son
your
returns to the
initial
Super
thoughts
Bowl.
about this weekend?
Yeah, no, Prodigal son returns to the Super Bowl. We came back. We're coming back with a vengeance, and we're going against, at least on paper, a really easy team. But that has been said against every. That's been said for the Cincinnati against every team they faced. So I am a little worried here. But man, this Super Bowl's kind of actually pretty cool, man. Like, when was the last time? And like, obviously, you know, Joe Burrow's straight pimping into the Super Bowl right now. And like, but when was the last time we've had a true like Cinderella story, underdog story of like no one believed in these guys? You know, Cincinnati doesn't even have an indoor practice facility. They don't even have a real like scouting team. Like, you know, this team was made by, you know, grit, you know, and swagger, you know what I'm saying? But this game's gonna be fun, you know. I mean, of course, Rams have home field advantage. That's also kind of crazy because that's never happened before, besides last year, and it's happened twice in a row now. So, yeah, and obviously with the Rams, you know, fuck them picks, and like, hey, this is what they built the team to do, you know. And if they win, I'm kind of interested to see how the rest of the league reacts. Because I wonder how many teams are just going to go all in like they do. You know what I mean? Just like, like screw it. Like it would be interesting, even if like 2 or 3 more teams start doing that, just to see how the social economics of the league like pan out. So, the Super Bowl I think will send shockwaves because I think a lot of people are also going to just like look at their team and be like, how the fuck did the Bengals get here but not us?
Right.
Too.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, the big name that came to mind when you brought that up was Aaron Rodgers and how teams could potentially go all in like that with Devontae Adams and really try and make a push for it. You know, I think it's interesting that in addition to, you mentioned the underdog story, the last one I remember was probably Nick Foles and the Eagles.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen as often, right? It's usually the same 2 teams. So it's weird that like I can't remember the last Super Bowl where like both, at least the quarterbacks, I think the teams are pretty well liked, but like both quarterbacks are like super well liked. Like everybody is hot on Joe Burrow and what he's done for the Bengals. And then there's a ton of people rooting for Stafford because of what he had to deal with in Detroit. You know, I'm honestly, I mean, I'm leaning a little more towards the Rams because of Stafford and because of you, my friend. But
thank you.
But honestly, like this is the first Super Bowl in a very long time where I honestly like would be happy with either outcome.
Honestly,
I know I can't say the same for you, but
I would probably say the same too. Like, I think it would be kind of cool if, again, Joe Burrow just shows up at the Rams' house and just kicks their teeth in. Like, it would be freaking embarrassing. But and plus, like, I don't know, man. That San Francisco game was awesome to watch.
Oh yeah,
and everything. But I know like this is a whole boost to get like Rams fans and everything. But it's like, just like the Dallas Cowboys, like the Rams are kind of very like, it's a very corporate team, so it's very easy to root against them. I completely understand. Trust me, I lived in California. I left it for those very reasons, actually. But I live in Texas now, but there was like no way I was going to root for a Texas team. Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm excited for the Super Bowl. Obviously, I'm going to hang out with some friends, man. What are your plans for the Super Bowl?
I'm gonna stay in. I don't know if you've ever seen Bill Burr. He's one of my favorite comedians.
Oh yeah.
And he was on Conan one time and just absolutely trashed the idea of Super Bowl parties because it was like a bunch of people and they talk during the game, but they don't talk during the commercials, and then they talk about the commercials while the game is playing.
Oh.
I just want to watch the game, so I'm probably just gonna make myself some appetizers, sit back and watch the game myself. That's what I've done for the past few years, and I very much enjoy it. I'm not really super into Super Bowl parties, and maybe that's a cranky old man thing to say, but I am 30, so I have an excuse at least.
It's like, man, I just go to Costco, buy a bag of Buffalo Wings, throw it in the oven, all mine, baby.
I'll go to the Liquor Planet up the street and load up.
Hell yeah, dude.
Danger, let's jump right into it.
Absolutely.
We're gonna cover a showdown slate on the DraftKings side. And Danger, do you want to do maybe a quick lineup at the end, see what we come up with?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So coming in at the top is our boy Cooper Kupp, $17,400 for Cooper Kupp,
in the captain
he hasn't
spot.
slowed down. And he hasn't slowed down in the playoffs. 40 points against San Francisco, 35.5 against Tampa Bay. I mean, even against, whether it's a good or a bad opponent, it doesn't matter to Cooper Kupp. So Danger, I think it's safe to say that Cooper Kupp's probably the safest player on the slate.
We've been talking about this guy, I think, ever since like week 3. And I don't know if you haven't been playing him consistently. I can, if some weeks you probably didn't. I don't know what else we can say to convince you that you need to start this guy. Like, there's just no question about it. There's no doubt. Like, and I feel like it would be suicide if you didn't put him in your lineup. It's also very scary if you don't even put him in as your captain this week. I know it's a lot, but it's like, who else is he throwing to? I mean, I feel like we're going to talk about Coop a lot. Let's go for it, man. What do you got?
Yeah, so I was going to say that he should be in your lineup. The only reason you wouldn't is if you're doing multiple lineups and you want to have like a couple that are like just in case something crazy happens to him.
Yeah.
But you never want to, bank on an injury. But because of his price, after we did that collab with the Edge podcast,
go check him out.
His price, yes, plugging the Edge once again. Those are great guys. I don't know about putting him in the captain position just because of the constriction that it's going to give the rest of your lineup.
I completely understand that point. Don't get me wrong, again, because you only have $50K for 6 spots, and he's taking up literally, I'm just gonna say like $20K. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Little less than half your budget's gone. But I think
so let me
go ahead
and let me rephrase. Okay, so I misspoke here. That 17,400 is if you're putting him in at your captain spot.
Yeah.
His normal salary is 11,600. So I apologize for the confusion there. But yeah, I mean, he's just. I think you can. I still think you can put in a really good lineup, especially in cash, and even a potentially GPP winning lineup with somebody else at your captain spot. But you have to have Cooper Kupp in your lineup.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's going to be. This guy literally should be at 100%. There's just
he'll be close to it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if he was like 90 plus. But
yep.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I don't know. The crazy thing about him, dude, is like, even though, I didn't even like pull up his stats, but my God, dude, he scored 40 points against the San Francisco team. He just does something insane in every game that just impresses you again about him. And I'm so sorry, Cup, that you are going to get snuffed the MVP this year for Aaron Rodgers, most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I think that's it for Cup, but
yeah,
start him.
So
you're crazy if you don't.
That's where we'll leave it off at Cup.
Yeah.
So going down, and so I guess we wanted to start with Cup because he was the most obvious. So now let's kind of go by position. So the quarterbacks, obviously Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow. Stafford is $200 more than Joe Burrow. Danger if I think in cash. Well, it's going to be hard to fit both of them in if you're also playing Cup.
Yeah.
So, for the sake of argument, if you're going to play one, who are you going to play?
I mean, you have to play Stafford, I think, if you got Cup to get that link going, to get that stack. Mm-hmm. If you have to choose one of the two. Yeah, because this is what perfect game scenario, this is what's going to start happening throughout the game. You're going to have Reeder and Donald pressure the inside and on the edge against the weakest O-line in the league, who has given up, on average, 5 sacks a game with a 15-yard loss average. They're going to pressure in the inside here. Joe Burrow's been great getting out of the pocket. I think they're definitely going to come in a game plan of just punishing this O-line. And, yeah, and Ramsey and... what is the safety's name? Riddle? I'm totally blanking on him right now. But
Weddle.
Weddle. Thank you, man. Thank you. If you guys haven't noticed, I forget names very easily here, even if they're popular. But Weddle. Like they're just gonna start pressuring and stacking him, keeping these wide receivers contained. Again, perfect game scenario. I think Stafford's the safer choice on this.
Yeah, I agree that I think the safer choice. I like Burrow better for GPP. I think he's got the better upside. That they are the underdogs. Again, I think it's worth noting that even though it's the Super Bowl, this is effectively a home game for Los Angeles. Not that that's meant a ton over the course of the year, as we've seen with all the different fans that have gone into Los Angeles, but. I think that's still worth mentioning and keeping an eye on. Burrow's splits between home and road games are a little worse than Stafford. So while I agree that Stafford is the safer choice, if I was building a GPP lineup, I'd actually probably go with Burrow just to bring it back. Play Cup and then probably like a Cam Akers, and then try and bring it back with Burrow and some of these other pass catchers on the Cincinnati side. That's kind of what my strategy would be in building a lineup. But let's get into the skill position. So at running back, Joe Mixon, our boy Joe Mixon, 9,600, and then Cam Akers at 6,400. Trying to find is Henderson? No, Henderson's on
he's
the IR.
Still out, I think.
It says okay. So McVay,
he's on IR
Tuesday, said that he has a good chance to return for the Super Bowl.
Gotcha.
But with the presence with a healthy Cam Akers, I don't know that I would trust that. So, I mean, if he plays, he'll get work, but I think Cam Akers has reestablished his role as the RB1 in this offense. His fantasy production has, left a little to be desired, but 6 points against San Francisco, 7.8 against Tampa Bay, but it's at 6,400, I think he's a really good play to give you some of that relief and also kind of guarantee a little bit of a workload.
Yeah, for sure. And if we've learned anything from Derrick Henry, running backs coming off of an injury, man, it's a tough ask, I think. Like if you just compared it to when they came back, like very, very, very slow starts. And if you have a more capable running back in there, and Cam Akers is still a little beat up. He did get a shoulder injury during the game, and he was like out for it. Which was like a little scary. But I am definitely leaning, and I can't believe they're passing on this, but I think it's because they say Cam Akers is live and going. Is Sony Michel $5K, dude? Like.
Yeah, that's a good price.
Yeah, man. Again, if something, God forbid, something happens to Aker or that, like Sony Michel will turn online. What was kind of worrying about watching the two running backs was you could definitely see that Sony Michel was getting more done, like on the field. Yeah, Cam Akers came back during the Arizona game. It was a good story and whatnot. But the last two games were definitely the Sony Michel game, like just straight up. He looked better. He had less attempts, on the games. Well, besides Tampa, I don't really know what happened there. Again, that was 4 weeks ago. Jeez. But yeah. So, but I mean, obviously the safer choice is Joe Mixon, and I actually really do like this pick for 9,600. I mean, again, you're not coming to our channel to say, hey, pick the most expensive guys, but...
Right.
Yeah. But what are your thoughts on Joe Mixon?
So, I think Mixon is more of a GPP play. I'm not really scared of the Rams on DraftKings. They're showing the Rams as the 8th ranked against fantasy running backs. I think that's a little misleading, but
no.
I don't know what to make of it because I don't know where the chalk is going to go, because Jamar Chase is right above him at 10,400. But Jamar Chase has been such an explosive player that I don't know that people are going to save money to get Joe Mixon. I think they're going to want to pay up to get Jamar Chase into their lineup.
Yeah, extra 800.
I think that actually opens up maybe a little bit of leverage opportunity for playing Joe Mixon, because I think he might be a little underowned just because of that. Odell Beckham is underneath him, so he might get some chalk off of that.
Yeah.
But I like him. I think, just based on salary and workload and everything, I think I'd rather play Cam Akers if I had to choose between Akers and Mixon, just based on salary relief and all that. But I still think he's a very interesting GPP play, especially if you're building a lineup. When you're building single game lineups, you're building them around like certain scenarios and how the game works. So if you're building a lineup around the idea that the Bengals absolutely run away with it, which I don't think happens, but who knows? Nick Foles beat Tom Brady in a Super Bowl, so who knows what's going to happen. That's a scenario where I think you can play Joe Mixon as your captain, but yeah, outside of that, I think Cam Akers is my favorite running back play. I also want to bring up one more guy, and maybe it was a one-off, but maybe he gets a little bit more workload, and that's Samaje Perine.
I was gonna say.
Yep. So not a ton of, he had like a few good weeks early on in the season, hadn't done much, and then last week, I know at least on FanDuel he was in the optimal lineup. 3 receptions on 4 targets, 43 yards and a touchdown. So didn't get any rushing work, but still gets a little bit of passing work. So.
Yeah, a lot of screenplays that went into effect there. Yeah, I was about to say, like, what caused them to use him? Was it just a breather for Mixon? Like,
yeah, maybe it was trying to give him a break, or I didn't catch a ton of that game. I happened to be at a children's birthday party, but
gotcha.
But they had it on at the place that we were at, so I was glancing at it, but. I think he's only 2,400. I think he's risky though, because we've seen what he's done outside of those one-off weeks. But I think I still kind of like him better than Darrell Henderson at 1,600, just because of Henderson's uncertainty with the injury, and then even if he does play, you have Cam Akers and Sony Michel. Even talking about Henderson, I think I'd rather super pay up and play Michelle at 5,000 instead of Henderson at 1,600, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I can definitely get behind that. Yeah. It's just it's just hard because like I feel like you said, everyone's just gonna look at Mixon and just be like, oh, Cam Akers like $3,000 cheaper. But with that being said, we just told you to start like literally 3/4 of the Rams offense, and it's not going to get much better, because I want to recommend Odell Beckham Jr. as your captain again, man. Like,
okay.
Yeah, like I did it for that one episode we did with the Edge, and I'm doing it again. If you don't think Odell Beckham's going to come into this game with a vengeance and a chip on his shoulder and just pissed at the world and just fuck you to the Browns, like I think he's gonna go off, man. He did last time too, and he didn't even score a touchdown. He's been great during the playoffs, man. Yeah, and if you don't think that Odell Beckham is gonna do everything in his power to try to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl, I think you'd be crazy. Because what is he at for? Yeah, he's at 26. I mean, that's a good price for a flex that's gonna do a lot. I think. Well,
he's at 84 for regular, but a captain at 12.
Right, I'm recommending him for captain. Like, for this, I think it's a good price.
I like that. I 100% agree. I think he's a very sneaky good captain play. That also, gives you some relief, from not doing the captain spot for Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
He has that big play potential. And so before we talk about the Bengals receivers, we've already talked about Kupp and OBJ. Are you looking the way of Van Jefferson at all this week?
No, only because, and I have mentioned this for, I think like half the season now, and I'm so glad Troy Aikman brought it up in the last cast of the Rams game, and that is that something happened to Stafford, and it's still lingering, where we think he's a little hurt because he has not had the same arm strength that he did at the beginning of the season. You've seen it constantly recently, where he just short throws it like by quite literally like 5 or 10 yards. If you rewind back to the first 4 weeks, he was throwing those things to Deshaun Jackson the whole time. And by the way, Deshaun Jackson, dude, what's up, bro? Imagine talking yourself out of a Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
Whatever. But back to my point. And that injury that's Rams have a history of not reporting of like their star players is going to hurt Van Jefferson's production. I know he's going to be a little enticing because he's like 52 and he does have that deep threat and he's full participant. Yeah, I thought he did have a knee injury a little bit too, but yeah, man, it's going to be scary. It's a punt play against him, and it's a wild punt. I'm not recommending it. I mean, for God's sake, spend $200 more and go after Tyler Boyd here. He is the best wide receiver 3 in the whole league.
Yeah, and certainly in that offense, obviously Cooper Kupp, but Odell Beckham's been the hot hand there. 23 points against San Francisco, 12.9 against Tampa Bay, 17 against the Cardinals. Van Jefferson hasn't scored double-digit points since Week 17 against Baltimore. So he's cold, and everything else that you mentioned, Stafford, Odell Beckham being the hot hand.
Yeah, and I
agree with you there. For sure.
I mean, man, just look at the yards too, dude. Like on, like most recently, like 29, 41, 31, 63, 6, 23, 58. He's supposed to be the deep threat. And that hasn't happened with this guy in quite a long time.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yep.
Rant over.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Going over to the Bengals side and their wide receivers. So we'll start off with Jamar Chase, 10,400. He is how much? 15.6 for the captain spot. So Jamar Chase is actually going to be my recommendation for the captain spot this week. I think if we're talking about the whole slate, I think we're all in agreement that Cooper Kupp has the safest floor.
And the floor is very high.
Yeah, but I think this game has big shootout potential. I think Jamar Chase's upside is right up there with him, and obviously, a cheaper captain spot than what you would pay for Cooper Kupp. So I'm really into Jamar Chase as a captain this week, and I think it's worth noting too. If you're playing cash games, most of the time you're probably going to want one of the quarterbacks as your captain spot. But if you're trying to take down a tournament, you want a skill player on the chance that somebody's going to score 2 touchdowns, like a Jamar Chase, or we've seen Joe Mixon do it, Cooper Kupp, obviously. And I think OBJ has the same upside to do that. So I like Jamar Chase as a captain this week. Moving down the list, T. Higgins, he is at 7,600. Where else? Tyler Boyd is at 54, and like you mentioned, he's only $200 more than Van Jefferson. Yeah, I'm 100% playing Tyler Boyd.
And his ceiling is just so much higher than Jefferson's too.
Yeah, agreed. So T. Higgins, let me take a look, because I think T. Higgins has been hot lately. 19.3 against the Chiefs, 16.6 against the Titans. He was on a little bit of a cold streak there. Let's see how Tyler Boyd has done lately. So it's kind of a hot and cold. So it seems like in the games that Tyler Boyd doesn't do well, T. Higgins does well, and vice versa. It doesn't seem like there's really a game where both of them have like crazy upside, except probably that game where Joe Burrow threw for 5 touchdowns, but that's likely not going to happen against the Rams. So, you have to kind of pick your poison. You're probably kind of forced to go to Tyler Boyd just based on roster construction and how much cheaper he is. So I think that makes T. Higgins an interesting tournament play because I think he'll be under-owned for that reason. But so I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. But again, Jamar Chase, I love him this week. I like all of the Cincinnati wide receivers. And again, I think you're kind of forced to go to Tyler Boyd. But if you're somehow constructing a lineup and you can afford T. Higgins over Tyler Boyd, I would probably go that way. Danger, what do you think about the Bengals wide receivers?
Yeah, and my personal strategy for these captain showdown games is I generally do like to go either the more effective running back for their price or the wide receiver twos if I like them. Hence why I always like to recommend Beckham during the Rams game, and I'll also flip that to Higgins too. I mean these guys have both been hot. Because again, Chase and Kupp are going to get covered, but how well are they going to get covered? I mean, Kupp is the best route runner in the league, and Chase just freaking outruns who's ever lined up against him and just scores. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I definitely like Higgins. Chase, I'm a little worried about, not because I think Ramsey's going to do anything. It's just, I don't know. Something about this game is just kind of rubbing me wrong against Chase. I can't pin on it why. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't think Chase is gonna be a goose, but I'm liking Higgins more.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's also just because of the price construction. It's just like I want to start Stafford Kupp. I'm like, there's no way I can throw Chase in there with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to the tight ends, Tyler Higbee at 4,800, CJ Uzama at 4,400. I think CJ Uzama had he did. So CJ Uzama, that was the week before. CJ Uzama put up a big old nothing burger against Kansas City.
Yeah, he got injured I think literally in the first quarter or something, right?
Yeah, only 2 targets the whole game. So I think some sort of injury happened. But prior to that, 14.1, 18.4. Tyler Higbee, on the other hand, had a big game against San Francisco in the regular season, 23.5 points there. But recently, 3.8, 9.1 is not bad against Tampa Bay for that price. So kind of worth a look there. But
it's most likely Higbee's going to be out for the game.
Oh, okay. So then that would be
Lanton.
Oh, where's he at?
4,600. He's right below Higbee, and he has caught literally every ball that's been thrown his way. Don't look at the middle of the season, but during the playoffs, and one of them was for a touchdown that literally came out of nowhere. I was like, and touchdown blind. I was like, who the heck is that? But yeah, apparently Sean, because that was even before Higbee got hurt. Apparently Sean McVay kind of saw something in him. Did he get promoted from practice or something? Practice squad?
He played at some point during the season. So
yeah, I knew.
Looking at his output against San Francisco, 5 receptions for 5 yards, or 5 receptions on 5 targets, 57 yards, and then against the Bucks, 2 receptions on 2 targets for 18 yards and a touchdown. Prior to that, he hadn't had any fantasy points since week 14 against the Cardinals. So it sounds like he's been on the roster, but I think he's an interesting play. I just looked at Higbee. Today is Thursday. He did not practice today, so
that is not a good sign.
That's not good news if you're banking on Tyler Higbee. It's still tough for me. But I think we're going to be forced into it if in lineup construction to kind of look their way.
Yeah.
I almost kind of want to pay down a little bit and maybe grab a kicker instead.
Yeah, I was about to
I mean,
say.
obviously they have touchdown upside, but gosh, it's just tough. And Uzama, you're right, it was an injury. That's why he put up that nothing burger against
Yeah.
Kansas City. He was a limited practice today, so he's at the very least in better shape than Higbee. Who is the Bengals' backup
Drew
tight end?
Sample,
That's right,
who
Drew Sample, and
literally
he's
didn't do
right
anything.
down. Okay, so DraftKings is prepared here because both of the backups are priced right underneath the starters.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. Okay, so Drew Sample came in relief of CJ Uzama and still only put up 1.4. So I'm not interested in Drew Sample. I am interested in Blanton if Higbee doesn't play.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be under-owned just based on name recognition and also that CJ Uzama is $200 cheaper than Blanton. Of the tight ends, I'm most interested in Blanton if Higbee doesn't play.
Yeah, and I'll echo that too, because it looks like at least that Sean McVay and Matt Stafford at least have faith in this guy. I mean, just throw, next game, throw him to him for 5 targets and he caught them all. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe, hey, we're going to get a repeat and maybe this guy was just like out of nowhere, just becomes a stud for us. But yeah, I don't, and I'll echo it too. With 4,600, I don't hate it. But I do think I like the kickers a little better this run.
Yeah.
Matt Gay,
So let's jump into the kickers. So Matt Gay, 3,800. Evan McPherson for the Bengals at 4,000, and then there's also Elliott Fry for the Bengals at 4,000, just in case Matt Gay can't play. But because I think he's nursing a groin injury, but he was a full participant on Tuesday, so I think McPherson's going to be good to go to kick. Danger, if you had to pick one of these two to put into your lineup, who would you go with?
Oh, McPherson all the way, dude.
Yeah, I agree with that. An interesting stat, because again, we're going to kind of give a little bit of weight to the fact that this is effectively a home game for the Rams. McPherson actually averages 3 more points per game on the road. So
wow.
Yeah, I would pay the extra $200 for McPherson.
This kid's
obviously so long as he plays, but
this kid's a stud too, dude.
He's been insane.
Yeah.
I think he was drafted, right? I think
fifth round, baby.
Yeah, I think that people were roasting the Bengals for drafting a kicker, but it's worked out. It worked out for the Raiders too, didn't it? Didn't Daniel Carlson, didn't they draft him? And people were like, why are you drafting a kicker? And now he's like the highest paid kicker.
Yeah, I know. Hey man, you got to pay these kickers, dude. They score points for you. Yeah. They're like, it's nuts. Yeah.
I'm gonna. So I don't have a ton of athletic prowess, so I'm not banking on my kids to have any. But I'm gonna try and train my kid to be a kicker.
For sure, dude.
I just can't. I can't wrap my head around a quarterback. I get you got to be like an elite level athlete. I can't wrap my head around the fact that there's not 32 people on this planet that can consistently do that. So I'm gonna try. Keep an eye out 18 years from now.
Shoot, man. Yeah, if you want to think about it, there's technically only one, possibly two right now, and that is Justin Tucker and McPherson right now.
Yeah,
like that, I would Mr. Automatic,
put, I would probably put Carlson in that category.
Gotcha.
For the Raiders, and there's maybe another few, but I don't think people are gonna want to listen to us rattle off kickers. So yeah, McPherson I think is consensus our play over Matt Gay. I don't hate Matt Gay by any means, but if I had to pick one,
I don't either. But
I also don't mind playing both of them if you need to from a roster percentage.
I don't know about that, but I'm worried about Matt Gay because, again, Rams have a history of just not reporting injuries on their key players. Like, if you want more example, look at Todd Gurley like 2 years ago. They're like, hey, what's up with him? No, he's fine. He's like in the back of like crutches and all that, and like didn't even play that much in the Super Bowl. Like, what is that? But yeah, Matt Gay, like he had a couple of missed kicks, and they were just straight up short, like by a lot, like. And well within range, like 38 yards, I think was one of them.
He's missed a field goal in each of the last 2 games.
Yeah, something's up. I'm a little scared. That's why I'm going with a more for sure thing with McPherson.
Yeah, McPherson hasn't missed a field goal since Week 16 against Baltimore.
Yeah.
So that's pretty nuts. But all right, so we got the kickers covered, and then finally we'll cover the defenses. So we got the Rams at 3,400, the Bengals at 3,200. Danger, are you interested in either of them?
No.
Yeah, neither am I.
I think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I do too. Although we've seen other Super Bowls that have been like total duds. I think it was the last one the Rams were in where people were expecting Goff and Brady. I think people were expecting a shootout there.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was a stinker of a. I mean, I like defensive games, so I enjoyed it, but a lot of people didn't because they were like, "This is boring. Where's all the points?"
If you could tell how well coached a team is by their defense, like honestly, because those are well studied athletes that have to memorize the other team's playbook, and again they put that to in practice there to know to practice against it, and if it's a low scoring game, it's because they know the offense well and how they need to respond. But again, offense is the sexier part of the game, so I don't blame them. But yeah.
All right. So with that, and I guess if I had to pick one, I would go with the Rams just based on the strategy that you outlined at the beginning of the video. Cincinnati's offensive line troubles recently, and I think even if it's high scoring. Yeah, I think even if it's a high-scoring game, I think the Rams should at least be able to get a solid amount of sack points. So I'll kind of leave it at that. But again, I'm not terribly interested in either of them. I think I'd rather pay up for one of the kickers.
Yeah.
So, Danger, with that, let's kind of talk through a lineup construction, and I've been kind of trying to do it.
It's gonna be hard.
While we've been talking, it's super tough. I think you almost kind of have to. In fact, I think let's build a lineup around your captain Odell Beckham, because I tried to do one with Jamar Chase and still with Cooper Kupp, and then adding in Joe Burrow, who's the cheaper of the 2 quarterbacks, and it's still really hard.
Yeah.
So let's throw in Odell Beckham at the captain.
Yep.
We got to have Cooper Kupp in there.
Yep.
I think if we have those 2 receivers, we kind of have to choose Matt Stafford over Joe Burrow in that case.
And now we have 15 grand left with three spots.
Yeah. So let's so I'm going to throw in McPherson for that. That doesn't help a ton. Gosh, 5,400.
Tyler Boyd, and then with that we have 56 left, which is we have Van Jefferson at 52, Sony Michel at 5,000, Blanton at 46.
I think I'd rather play Sony Michel in that case. Let me try something.
That's tough, dude. Like,
it's really tough.
Like, yeah, man. I mean,
in this case, let's go with the Ram. Okay.
That's rough.
So what you could also do.
Go ahead.
So here's what I got. Because in this scenario is a little more one-sided towards the Rams. So OBJ at captain, Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, Evan McPherson, the Rams defense, and then that last spot, if you do the Rams defense instead of Tyler Boyd, that frees you up to grab T. Higgins. So I don't hate that. But
I don't hate this either, actually.
I don't hate that at all, actually. But it is pretty contingent on at least the Rams leading for most of the game.
Yeah, I was about to say this is heavily favored if you're thinking the Rams are just gonna pop off.
Yeah. So let's try one without. So what you could do to make it a little more balanced, and this is I wouldn't recommend it, but it's still within the realm of what you can do, is not playing either quarterback, and so I replaced Matt Stafford with Jamar Chase. If you want to go for like super upside, um, it's going to be really tough to have like a good captain, and then the rest of these guys, um, with one of the quarterbacks. I mean, again, unless you're fading Cooper Kupp for whatever reason.
You don't.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't, but
like,
um,
I don't know how
so
more clear I can be on that. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's this is a tough week. DraftKings really brought it with their lineup there.
yeah, man, yeah, you're totally right. They made sure that they didn't mess up on anything, dude.
Yeah,
There's no Juju Smith Schuster budget cut this week. Okay,
right.
so we got Tyler Boyd here. And yeah, here's McPherson. We have 6K to play with after that. I don't know who Brown. Oh, it's like the backup QBs. That's
Yeah,
left.
they priced the backup QBs really weirdly this week.
Yeah.
I got another one here that I don't mind. So I put in Burrow as the captain, and with that I got Cup, Chase, McPherson, and then I threw in Samaje Perine and Tyler Boyd. Um, so I don't hate that one either if you're looking more towards the Bengals side of things.
Man, you're almost
That is
forced.
that's a lot of Bengals though. I'm just now realizing I might want to replace McPherson with Matt Gay in that scenario.
Yeah, you're almost forced to play Tyler Boyd if you pick like
Right. Yeah, that's why I was
three of the
mentioning
top.
earlier with
Yeah.
lineup construction, you're kind of more forced into Tyler Boyd than T Higgins.
Let's
Um,
try to do one like a little out of the ordinary here. Like obviously
okay.
we're putting in cut. I'm staying
Yes.
with that. But I don't know. Let's say what about Joe Mixon as your
As the captain, I
as
was
the
literally
captain?
thinking the same thing.
Hey man, me and you, dude, right here. As that,
All
let's
right,
get
so
Joe
Mixon
Burrow in
Cup.
there, and now we're at 13,400. That's a little ugly, but I think we can do something here. So again, Tyler Boyd. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Go back to
Tyler
McPherson
Boyd
and
and
Rams defense, man, or
yeah.
Bengals defense. Since we're a little more heavy on the Bengals side.
Yeah, if you're playing Mixon as your captain, you probably would rather have the Bengals defense over the
Yeah,
Rams defense.
I don't hate this
Um,
either, but it's like, um,
it's still a
man,
little one-sided
yeah, like
towards Bengals. Although if you're playing the Bengals defense, you could afford one of the Rams tight ends.
oh, Blanton.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
So Mixon a captain, Cup, Burrow, Boyd, Bengals defense, and Blanton.
I don't hate this either. It's a little
I
rough
don't
looking,
either,
but
but it is certainly rough looking. But those are usually the lineups that win tournaments. Is
yeah,
the
I
ones
know
that are like,
these are the lineups where you just look at
man.
him, and you're like, what the fuck, that one?
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah,
so,
um, yeah. That 6,000 range is super gross just because it's all backup quarterbacks.
yeah.
Um,
It really they put it in there, I think, to like pad out the rest of the
yeah.
yeah. Like
Now let me
so,
see if
go ahead.
let me try this. I'm gonna take out Burrow in that case because there's not often a time where there's like a super correlation between. Well, actually, in that lineup, you could, if you had Mixon as your captain, you could afford Stafford to bring it back. So if
You
you think the
can.
Rams are, or if you think the Bengals are up to the point where Mixon is very fantasy relevant, then you probably would want to go Stafford. So you could go Mixon at captain, Cup, Stafford, Boyd, Bengals defense, and Blanton. Um,
Shoot, dude, I actually really like this lineup.
yeah, that's actually I like that one better than Burrow, honestly, in that scenario.
Yeah,
Um,
Stafford really pulled this lineup together.
yeah, I agree. Even with the Bengals defense in there,
Yeah.
I agree with that. I want to try something here. I'm gonna do another scenario, still with Mixon at captain, but I'm gonna do it without both quarterbacks. So I'm gonna
Ooh,
replace.
Chase and
So I'm gonna take out the quarterback. I'm gonna put in Cam Akers. So Mixon at captain, Cup Akers. That's still kind of gross. Oh, let's take out Blanton and put in McPherson.
we have 9,800 with that with Bengals and Bland.
Ooh.
That opens up
Okay.
Beckham.
Well, so that opens up Beckham, but I took out Blanton and replaced him with McPherson, and that allows you to afford Jamar Chase. So Mixon at captain, Cup, Akers, McPherson, Bengals defense, Jamar Chase.
Damn, nice.
That's
okay.
I think
We're
that's a
we're
solid
we're
one.
we're on to something here.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of like the yeah. I don't know if it's like recency bias or something, but the more lineups we're doing, we're expanding our
Yeah.
minds here, Adam.
Yeah, it seems like our favorite lineups are the ones without either quarterback. But I'm thinking in terms of GPP. I'm not thinking in terms of cash necessarily.
Yeah, I was like,
So
but
so I'm gonna try one with Jamar Chase as the captain. I'm gonna throw in Cam Akers. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna throw in Sony Michel and give me some salary relief there. So Michelle, Cup. You have to have Cup.
wait, who's captain?
Jamar Chase.
Oof.
So
Whoops.
Chase, Michelle, Cup. That leaves us with 59 per. Let's go with McPherson.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, we're just going back to that well. McPherson. Yeah. 6,900 though. Okay, we can get hit. Ooh, we can get OBJ, and we still have 5,400 left over, and we can pick up Boyd.
Ooh. So a non-quarterback lineup, even though the quarterbacks would be going nuts in this scenario.
Yeah, exactly.
Jamar Chase, Sony Michel, Cooper Kupp, Evan McPherson, Odell Beckham, and Tyler Boyd.
Dang.
I like that.
I like this too.
That a lot.
I'm gonna again
in
this
scenario, though,
this.
I'm gonna see.
I was about to say these recent lineups, like you most to get grand prize, you definitely probably are gonna need one or two quarterbacks in there.
Yep.
But dude, this could get you up there. I think
I found my favorite one. I think I found my favorite lineup.
All right, hold on. Let me clear the board. Okay.
Jamar Chase at captain. Cooper Kupp, Sony Michel, Evan McPherson, Joe Burrow, Bengals defense.
Nice. Okay, that's actually super competitive.
That one's probably my favorite, and it's not. I mean, it's probably because I said that Jamar Chase was my favorite captain play earlier.
What was Chase's cost without the?
He's 10-4 in the flex spot.
I like this too, man. Let's do something a little different, and it's gonna really tax us, I think, mentally.
Cup captain.
Yeah.
Okay.
let's try it out, man. Like,
all right.
You know what I mean? Let's stretch that brain muscle of ours. So we got Cooper Kupp at captain here.
Yeah, I'm probably my next play there is probably going to be P Ryan at 2,400.
I was about to say, man, like we already only got 32K,
and now we're at 7,500 per. McPherson.
McPherson. I'm kind of looking at Higgins. Now we're with 9,300 left, so we can pick up a quarterback here and have $8,000 left over.
Who do you have so far in there?
I have Kupp at captain, Pirine, McPherson, and I have Higgins.
Oh, Higgins, you already put him in. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, 9,300. So yeah, you could go. You go either quarterback really.
And now we have 7,800, and that doesn't really leave with anybody good.
So let me. So I'll put in Stafford, Cam Akers.
How about this? Instead of P Ryan, let's put in the Bengals, and now we can afford OBJ, dude.
Yeah. Well, so I did something a little different. So I did. So I got Kupp at captain. I've got P Ryan, McPherson, Stafford, Odell, and Cam Akers. That's really one-sided to the Ram side, but.
Say that again, sorry.
That's not. Kupp at captain, P. Ryan, McPherson, OBJ, Stafford, Akers.
600 left over. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know what more we can do, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like guys, we showed you tons of examples right now.
Yeah.
Again, we can't confirm anything because football is a very variable sport.
There's
but
still some injury questions too.
Yeah,
Let's start with our or let's finish, I should say, with what we've been doing at the end of every video, and that's just our quick picks for the betting picks for the Super Bowl. So, Danger, the Rams are 4-point favorites to the Bengals.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty crazy. Again, it's a home field. Well, sorta.
Yeah.
With that going on, and I mean, no, man, give me Rams with the points, dude. It's gonna. I think Rams are gonna win. I think it's gonna be over 4 points. Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Bengals to cover. I think they have a chance to win, but this feels like a field goal game to me. So I'll take the Rams and the points. Or I'm sorry, I'll take the Bengals to cover. And then the over-under is 49.5.
49.5. Man, I do think this is going to be like a mid 20 game each game. Each team.
Yeah. To me, this game is kind of. It feels like 27-24.
Yeah, dude, I was literally thinking the same thing, sort of. Even though I just said
that would put it at the over. That'd be 51 points. That would put it at the over. I think it's close. I think slightly over, but I could see a scenario where that goes under 2. I think my favorite play is probably the Bengals +4. But yeah. And we're both, I think, in agreement on the over, but it's close.
Yeah, I think it's going to be over, but it's going to be close. What are the odds of Cooper Kupp scoring a touchdown in each half?
Oh gosh, I have to go in and find it. If you,
I can entertain
the timestamp here.
I can entertain 52.5, but I can entertain the folks here. What are you guys doing? Well, hey, while he's looking up the stats, guys, always like we try to remember at the beginning of every episode, comment, and subscribe. Everything. Leave a comment on who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. Why is it the Rams? And if you think it is the Bengals, tell me why you're wrong. There you go.
Yeah.
But
so Cooper Kupp, I haven't found the one for each half yet, but he's only plus 290 to score 2 touchdowns in the whole game. So
that's pretty
more likely than I think in most scenarios.
Okay.
You want to know what's interesting? You know who the second most likely is to score 2+ touchdowns according to FanDuel?
Is it OBJ?
You were muted.
Oh, is it OBJ?
No, it's Cam Akers. Right? That's
no.
Weird, but that's FanDuel is saying that the second most likely person to score 2 touchdowns in this game is Cam Akers.
I can see the scenario just because during that Tampa Bay game, he should have had 2 touchdowns. One, he fumbled it, and one, he just couldn't get over the line, so they just gave it to Stafford and do it.
Yeah.
Ooh, wait, what are the odds of Stafford doing a rushing touchdown?
Ooh, that is... Where's he at? Plus 800. So 8 to 1.
Put it in,
That's
baby.
not a bad one.
I like that, actually.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good bet, actually.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, according to FanDuel, is more likely to do it, though. He's 6.5 to 1.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the Stafford one better.
I'd rather play the Stafford one for sure.
What about Mixon scoring a touchdown?
Anytime?
Yeah, anytime.
Even. Plus 100.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Cooper Kupp is minus 165. That's
Oh.
almost a guarantee.
I've never heard that. That's pretty cool. What about OBJ plus 2 touchdowns?
OBJ to score 2 touchdowns is 8.5 to 1. And this is according to FanDuel, by the way. That different sites might have different odds, but
one. Well, let's just go down each. I don't know. What about Blanton?
Blanton anytime, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Plus 260.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. I figured that would be higher.
Yeah, I figured that would be like a 500. It's probably because he already scored one.
Yeah, it could be.
What about go down the list of Bengals receivers now.
So Bengals receivers, or Bengals in general, I should say skill positions. Mixon is plus 100, Chase is plus 110, Higgins is plus 175, Boyd is plus 230, and Uzama is plus 430.
I don't like any of those. Give me Stafford a rushing touchdown, dude.
Yeah, that one would probably be my favorite one.
Yeah, because
none of these other ones are screaming at me.
He's done 2 of them in the last 3 games. Oh wow, those are the only 2 too. That's actually pretty wild, actually.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm gonna let me just look up one more thing.
One more. Gotcha.
I was looking up the passing touchdown props, but nothing crazy there. I just wanted to see if that would tell me anything.
Well,
all right, so
okay.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Yeah, pretty much.
Going through FanDuel, but again, those are just FanDuel's. Different sites might have different odds. In my experience, FanDuel has like the best ones for the touchdown scorer props. But everybody, thank you for watching. Like Danger mentioned, like, comment, subscribe, join our Discord. Football season's ending, but if you do other DFS or are into other sports, we're in the middle of basketball season. Hopefully, a baseball season coming up, and then. We got, I will be providing the NASCAR content. So we got the Daytona 500 coming up next week. So I'll be on the Discord doing that. I'm going to be doing some short videos like we do for our single game slate. So I'll continue to be active on this channel during the off season. And then Danger and I will collab periodically throughout the off season, provide some updates, give some insight on free agency, the draft, all that kind of stuff as that proceeds through the NFL off season. So if you've been watching for multiple videos, again, thank you so much for your support. Be sure to share the videos, the Discord, all that kind of stuff. Really helps us out. Danger, any closing thoughts for the season or for the Super Bowl?
No, go Rams! A great season. I actually wouldn't mind doing we'll be doing some videos every now and then, guys, especially when it gets closer to the draft. I wouldn't mind doing an overview of like the whole season. Apparently I am way too pale right now, but the color was like getting on my face. But
you're in Texas. You don't have any excuses.
Yeah, the blur and all that. But what was I saying? Yeah, go Rams. What a great season. A lot of ups and downs. But yeah, guys, we will see you.
I think we might do a live feed for the draft. I think that's something we've talked about. So,
that'll be fun.
Pardon me. So we'll come at you with some good content. If you have any ideas for what you want to see from us for off-season content, be sure to comment it down below, and then also join the Discord and provide your feedback there. So everybody, if you're playing, good luck. If you're just enjoying the Super Bowl, have fun. If you're rooting for either team, I pray for your blood pressure. And everybody, have a great Super Bowl weekend, and we will see you in the off season.
Hell yeah. See you guys then.